Hi, good evening, all of you. And today we are again with a very exciting session, and it's a new session, by the way. एक नए topic, एक नए aspect पे we'll all be discussing. I think first time on our platform on IndianVedyas.com, we'll be talking about hemp food. It's a superfood, by the way. It's having lots of benefit. अगर आप hemp seeds oil, hemp seed powder, and there are various other aspects which today we will be learning more. And it's a boon for all the vegans here. uh, आप में से जितने लोग vegan हैं, जितने लोग vegan diet को follow करते हैं, still we have seen in many diets there are certain issues in terms of nutritional values, in terms of specifically for omega 3, omega 6, and these kind of fatty acids, and certain other nutrients, minerals, and vitamins are not there. But in hemp, I think they are in abundance. And if we are saying abundance, actually they are in abundance. If you can see the research, you can see the percentage, and if you can compare that, sometimes many people are asking कि डॉक्टर साहब ये तो इतने का प्रोडक्ट है या ये इतने का है. इफ यू calculate the parameters in terms of the quality, in terms of the constitution, in terms of the ingredients, I think this is value for money. And कहीं कहीं वो बहुत सस्ता है अगर आप उससे कंपेयर करेंगे. ऑलवेज मैच एप्पल टू एप्पल. ऑलवेज कंपेयर कि आपको मिल क्या रहा है. अगर आप एक स्पून या हाफ स्पून भी हेम्पसीड ऑयल से गार्निश करते हैं अपने वेजिटेबल्स को या अपनी स्प्राउट्स को या कोई भी वट एवर यू आर टेकिंग, वो जो न्यूट्रिशनल वैल्यू या जो न्यूट्रिशनल क्वांटिटी आपको मिलती है, that is far more than any other comparator or any other oil or seed you are comparing. So you have to see the value for money. You have to see the economics in terms of whatever you are investing and whatever you are getting in the return. It's not just for the sake of oil you are having oil, or for the sake of getting there are cosmetically labeled superfoods also floating in the market. So what actually is the superfood and what actually is the cosmetic superfood, you need to identify that difference as well. So hemp is actually a superfood. And in India, I think from last so many years, we are seeing, if you talk about hills, in Uttarakhand and many other part of the hilly area, they have chutneys and various other recipes out of hemp seeds. So without wasting much time, I think let's quickly move to our esteemed speakers of the day. I welcome Yash, co-founder and director of Boheco, and Siddhant. He's heading the entire R&D as far as Bombay Hemp Company is concerned, one of the largest company in medical cannabis and hemp space in India. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. And I think all of you are aware about with both of them. They have been on our platform in prior as well. So without wasting much time, let me hand over the session to both of you. Let's hear and let's have understanding about hemp food. Being a clinician, being a practitioner, we need to understand more on this aspect. And maybe later on, whenever we will get queries and questions. So we are right now live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and our website as well. So all of you are listening to us can shoot your questions, can ask your questions, and we will definitely discussing with Yash and Siddhant. But let's prior listen to them what they want to talk on. Let's hear, and then accordingly we will maybe have a discussion after their talk. So over to you, Yash and Siddhant. Thank you.
Right. Awesome. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Piyush, for enabling this session. I'm going to, of course, kickstart the session, and then, of course, Siddhant, being the technical expert, will come in and take it to further detail. But I'm going to first start by helping everyone remember this one statement that Socrates had once made. He had once said that food is thy medicine. If you don't consider food as medicine, then your medicine will become your food, right? Keeping this fundamental philosophy in mind, Bohico Life, when we started out in the year 2019 in February, in fact, we just finished 2 years as a brand. uh, we started out with the fundamental philosophy that through our brand we will add value to everyone's life, and thereby our mission came about, which was well-being at every step. Now, the first set of products that we launched into the market were a set of products that were made from the hemp seed. Hemp seed, a small yet power packed ingredient that is power packed with a plethora of nutritional elements, which we will cover in due course of our conversation, right? But before, of course, we get into a deeper understanding about hemp seed and the benefits that one can get from the hemp seeds, I will give you a little background about this little hemp seed. right? In Bohiko, we call the hemp seed the legacy of the Himalayas, right? More often than not, we forget that the food that actually originated from the roots, the purest form of food, has actually originated from the Himalayas. And one such ingredient is hemp, right? That kind of was discovered way back in time. In fact, hemp as a super crop, as a seed, and the usage of hemp as a food goes back even in fact it goes back way back in time, so much so that it was originated in Central Asia. Christopher Columbus and other such famous explorers, they used to carry the hemp seed on their voyages for nutrition, to fulfill their nutritious needs. In fact, hemp as a food was discovered before even some religions, before even democracy as a concept. So it's one of the most ancient superfoods known to mankind, right? Have you often wondered that people from the Himalayas are stronger, and they don't suffer from many lifestyle diseases? And that's mainly because of all the local food that they are being consuming. And one such ingredient that is a part of their daily lives is once again hemp. Hemp, mainly we see it from three main aspects. Hemp as a superfood is very beneficial to people at large. One is from a farmer's point of view. Of course, we have in our previous sessions, and today also we'll throw some light. Hemp is one of the most farmer friendly crops to grow, right? With over 25,000 proven uses, requires no pesticides or herbicides to grow, is absolutely labor friendly crop. Both men and women can grow it easily, and the list goes on. One is hemp for the farmer. The second is hemp for the environment, right? Because the plant is an absolute carbon negative crop, and it becomes a very sustainable food source, right? Keeping in mind, like I mentioned, does not require pesticides to grow, so it does not really pollute the soil. It requires far less water compared to other cash crops or food crops to grow, so thereby making it an extremely sustainable resource when it comes to food. And finally, hemp for health, right? One of a few of the oldest uses of hemp, be it recorded in Atharva Veda, be it recorded in ancient Chinese medicine. Hemp is known for its plethora of health benefits that one can get from it. Be it its protein use, be it its omega use, be it its vitamin, name it, hemp has to offer that. Now, moving into more specific parts about hemp, and this is where I'd let Sid come in to talk about the different applications of hemp as a seed.
Right. Thank you, Yash, and thank you, Dr. Juneja, for having us on this show again today. Now, to largely speak about hemp, like I'm sure Yash already did give you a very good understanding on the history of hemp and how it has been used avidly over multiple traditional and geographical locations since thousands of years, actually. What we are going to today specifically discuss is the products that we kind of manufacture from the hemp seed. Now, as you know, hemp seed is, to be honest with you, very highly nutritious. It has a high oil content as well, and it has a high protein content as well. And it also does have a high fiber content. Now, specifically having said this, hemp seed itself is actually recognized as a superfood in multiple parts of the world. It's actually compared to your goji berries and to your other very highly superfoods, basically. So it's actually compared with all of these food products as well. Now, from that perspective, the first product that we actually make from the hemp seeds is the hemp seed itself, but without the shell. So if I could just take the liberty of showing you the product as well. So this is really what I'm talking about, the Himalayan hemp hearts. This is basically the whole seed of the cannabis plant, but without the shell. Now, this itself, as a product, does contain a very high amount of protein. To be very honest with you, the amount of protein per 100 grams is close to 34 to 35 grams of protein, which is a lot more than what you even get in, for example, a protein equivalent would be good to compare would be chicken, because chicken is a good protein equivalent, right? So chicken gives you only about 22 grams of protein per 100 grams, whereas hemp gives you about 34 to 35 grams of protein per 100 grams, which is significantly higher. And the other interesting part about it also is that it has, again, omega 3s and omega 6s as well. So these both omegas are required in your body for optimal brain development, which is the most important aspect. So from that perspective, hemp seed becomes the first of its kind superfood without obviously having any kind of harmful effects. Let's put it that way. So from hemp seeds, I'd like to also
So
showcase.
just to add, right? Just to add about hemp hearts specifically, right? Hemp hearts is actually the most balanced product from the hemp seed family in terms of its nutritional profile, right? Where it has the perfect amount or the right ratios of proteins, omegas, vitamin E, calcium, magnesium. So it's an all-rounder essentially, right? Amongst all of the foods in terms of, and I'll throw some light on the application of the product as well, right? Typically hemp hearts are consumed just like any other seed, right? So one would be consuming your flax seeds, or more famously known as alsi ke beej, right? Or your chia seeds or your quinoa seeds, right? The idea is to add this on top of anything as a garnishing ingredient, right? So from your khichdi to khao suey, make any meal healthy, right? That's the idea. So you can either consume a raw tablespoon. The ideal serving size of this is 25 to 30 grams per day for your ideal intake of nutrition. Or you can add it on top of any meal, right? And it tastes really nice too. To give you a perspective, this tastes like a little mix of almond meats, pumpkin seeds, right? So it tastes very much like that. The idea is to add it, like I mentioned, on any meal or consume it raw, but do not you can one also, in fact, we have done some very interesting work with a lot of restaurants in across India, where we've developed pastas or burgers where hemp seeds have been actually used as an ingredient, right? So these are some of the applications of the plant, of the hemp heart, sorry. And it's a very versatile, easy to use, and also the tastiest amongst all of the other products that we have to offer. Yes, Sid, please continue.
Yes. So, as Yash rightly mentioned, obviously there is a lot of nutrition that you can get from just 30 grams of hemp seeds. To give you a simple example, if you take 30 grams of hemp seeds, you will get about 10 to 11 grams of protein directly within that, which is, to be very honest with you, quite high. So, these are the kind of numbers which hemp can offer if you do start consuming it as a food or a dietary supplement product that we have. Uh, Over to the next product I would like to showcase to you would also be our hemp seed oil product, which is basically here. So the hemp seed oil product, as you can see, is obviously an oil product. This is made by a very simple mechanical cold pressing extraction that we do on our hemp seeds to create, obviously, the defatted version of the seeds. And obviously the fat that we remove from the seeds is then packaged into the oil, which is basically the hemp seed oil. So now, to give you a basic understanding, hemp seed oil as a product has a very high amount of omega 3s and 6s, right? And this is also in that perfect balanced ratio of 2.5 or 3 is to 1, which your brain requires for optimal development, right? And when I say the 3 is to 1 ratio, that's basically omega 6 to omega 3 ratio, which is over numerous studies has been showcased to have the best amount of brain development would be optimal with a ratio of 3 is to 1 of omega 6 is to 3s. That's basically it. But beyond that as well, the hemp seed oil also does have a high amount of vitamin E. And vitamin E, as you know, is a very strong antioxidant. Now, from a theory of free radical damage, which everyone probably understands, is that over a period of time, when you live that kind of lifestyle, when you eat the right or the incorrect type of food, you are creating within your body free radicals. Free radicals go and create cellular damage. And to overturn that, we basically have to consume antioxidants, which are basically going to balance the free radical oxygen damage or prevent it from that perspective. So, vitamin E, which is basically within our hemp seed oil, is actually so high that it actually does create a strong antioxidant effect. It's actually one of the strongest antioxidants that is there out there. So, from that perspective, hemp seed oil is actually a very, very good product. And to give you the other uses of hemp seed oil as well. Now, from an application perspective, not only can you use this in your food, right? It is obviously consumption grade product, but it can also be used in a multi-purpose fashion by applying it on your skin and hair. Because of the fact that it has a strong amount of vitamin E, it is exceptionally good for your hair. It is exceptionally good for your nails as well. So from that perspective, it is very, very, very good for your skin and hair. And we are also obviously understanding that hemp seed oil itself, not only will it obviously give you the kind of good feel about you that you require, but it also does have a amount of immune boosting effect, which we are also trying to understand as we move forward. Because of the omega 3s, the omega 6s that it contains, the strong vitamin E content as well, and these are completely natural without any kind of solvent based extraction, completely as close to nature as you can imagine. That is the reason it can actually really boost your immunity. And from that perspective, to just give you a simple understanding as well, we've actually even launched our next set of product, which showcases the fact that hemp seed oil not only does boost immunity on its own, but when combined with other ingredients which are well known in Ayurveda, you can actually create a powerhouse of immunity. And this is a product which we've actually launched in the market. This is just about, I think, a month or a month and a half old. It's called the Immunity Booster, which is basically, sorry if you can see it well, yeah, the Immunity Booster product. So this is specifically, as you understand, the year of 2020 has mainly been about something that is immunity, right? Because COVID, etc., and all of those kind of situations that are happening, everyone's looking to kind of protect themselves from the from obviously COVID and then other diseases as well. So immunity is a strong game which hemp can bring to the forefront because of the nutritionally dense elements that it contains mainly. So from that perspective, so you can definitely have a look at all these products. You can visit our website buico.org, where you can have a look at all of these plethora of products that we have and select which one is best for you. But
Right. So just to add, sorry, Sid, sorry to interject, right? Just to add, right, and coming back to hemp seed oil, right, which is one of the fastest selling products that we have. And like Sid mentioned, right, in the world of dietitians and nutritionists, there is this thing called the golden ratio of omega, right? And there are only two main ingredients, two main oils that have that golden ratio. There is of course the fish liver oil or the cod liver oil that we know of that has this ratio, but from a vegetarian point of view there is only one ingredient, and that is hemp, that has the omega 3 and 6 in that golden ratio, right? In terms of application, like Sid mentioned, it's a multi-purpose oil. You add it on, you use it on your hair, you use it on skin, you drizzle it on your toast, you add it in your dips, salads, desserts. You can just add it on top and enjoy the nutritional goodness of hemp seed oil. Again, the serving size typically is 2 tablespoons, which is roughly 25 ml per day. Some of the core benefits that one can get from the hemp seed oil is that it enhances your immunity, and that's why we created a product for immunity booster, like Sid mentioned. So it enhances your immunity, it stabilizes your blood sugar levels, it nourishes your hair and skin, like we mentioned earlier. It boosts brain and eye health, mainly because of its omega profile, and it acts as a great anti-inflammatory. Right, so these are some of the core benefits that one can get from hemp seed oil. In fact, our hemp seed oil is also used as a main carrier oil or a carrier agent in two of our medical products, namely arthritis pain and pain management. And that's mainly because it's a great carrier oil for sure, but it's also very good anti-inflammatory, right? And thereby it kind of helps and increases the efficacy of the medical products as well, right? From of course an immunity booster point of view, our aim was to that how do we kind of take the holistic goodness of hemp seed oil and take it to another level, right? And that is where herb interaction comes into play. When you combine hemp seed oil with other ayurvedic herbs and ingredients, the benefit of that hemp seed oil and the bioavailability increases manifold, right? So that's why we combined the hemp seed oil with amla, which we know is a great source of vitamin C, turmeric, which is again a great anti-inflammatory, giloy, ashwagandha, ginger. These were some of the the powerful ayurvedic ingredients that we combined together to create this one of its kind immunity booster. In fact, the first one ever launched in India with hemp in it. And some of the core benefits that one can get from the immunity booster is that it boosts your energy, strength, and stamina, which gets severely affected when your immunity is low. It builds your resistance to fight illnesses, and given today's day and age, and given and seeing all of the lifestyle illnesses, the flus and the colds and the coughs that are being prevalent amongst the society, it really helps in building resistance against it, and it of course promotes overall health and well-being. So these are some of the core benefits of the immunity booster product. Yes, the ideal serving size is up to 2 capsules twice a day, for the perfect amount of your immunity boosting abilities, right? And keeping this in mind, we move on to the final product, Sid, the hemp powder.
Sure. So the final product that we have and that we work with mainly is the Himalayan hemp powder. So this is basically, as you can guess, it is a protein powder. It is made from the defatted hemp seed meal, and it does, like I already mentioned, it also is a nutritionally dense product as well. Now, to just give you a basic understanding, again, this is made utilizing no solvents or anything. These are completely free of any kind of solvent extraction, all of these products. So they are as close to nature as you can imagine. So to just give you an understanding on the protein aspect of the protein powder and hemp itself. So the protein powder gives you a protein punch of about 40 grams per 100 grams of the scoop that you consume. Now, from that perspective, the major protein composition within hemp is that of edestine, which is a rare and actually you can say exclusive protein which is found only within hemp, which comprises about 85% of the whole protein content of hemp, and the rest 15% is actually albumin. Now, both of these proteins, which is edestine and albumin, are highly digestible to man, which means that basically when you do consume it, your body does not take a lot of effort on your body to digest these proteins. You don't feel that kind of heaviness that you get by consuming other products, like for example a whey protein or something different. So this does not create that kind of heaviness, but at the same time it also does satiate your hunger, and basically that's the good part about this. Now, from that perspective, I'll just give you a little bit more idea about what edestine is. So edestine is basically a globular protein which is very, very close to serum globulin, right? Which is basically found in the human body. Now, from to that effect, when you do consume edestine, it is broken down into smaller proteins, which are then basically reassembled within your body to make antibodies, hormones, which are extremely important from your health perspective if you're looking to obviously generate that kind of immunity as well, and then just general good health. So from that perspective, edestine being like I said, a very exclusive protein, it is only found within the hemp plant. It is not found anywhere else. It actually has a lot of applications from that perspective. Beyond that, the hemp protein powder itself does have a plethora of minerals which exist within them. So, for example, there is a strong amount of calcium that is there. There's a stronger amount of potassium and phosphorus as well, which is present in the hemp protein powder. All of these minerals and vitamins together really do fill in the gap, which, for example, in urban centers like cities, the consumption of food does sometimes lack these micronutrients, excuse me, from that perspective, which are very important to sustaining good health. And from that perspective, I would say that the protein powder is a definite boost or a booster for protein, as well as potassium, as well as other ingredients like you have iron, you have magnesium, you have manganese. It does give you a strong amount of supplementation of that by just consuming 1 to 2 tablespoons of the product itself. Over to you,
Right.
Yash.
Yes. So just to add to what Siddhant just mentioned, right? You guys must have heard that, whenever someone talks about consuming protein, there is this one side effect of consuming protein that always comes along, and that is bloating. right? When people consume most proteins out there available in the market, be it your whey protein or be it any other animal based protein, the biggest side effect is bloating, and it causes irritation in your bowels, right? That is exactly one thing that is taken care of by the hemp powder that Siddhant just showed, mainly because of the highly bioavailable edestine protein that is a part of the mix, and also the extremely high amount of dietary fiber content that is found in the hemp seed powder, right? The dietary fiber combined with the edestine protein makes it a great source, and it aids your digestive health, right? Your overall digestive health is aided by that, right? And in fact, one of the best, and like Siddhant mentioned, right, it is the hemp powder that we have. It's not a protein powder, right? It's a hemp powder that is rich in protein with close to 40% concentration, right? So it can also be used as an ingredient to make your daily chapatis, right? When you combine it with your regular atta, right? Or if you want to make bread, right, we have in fact made some sourdough bread with some of the bakers here in Bombay. We have in fact a lot of customers we know are making chapatis by adding this as an ingredient, and very flavorful different gluten free chapatis that people are enjoying, right? And the best part about this is that it's highly digestible, a highly digestible protein that actually stimulates the manufacturing process of antibodies against invasive agents, and is also considered the backbone of the cell's DNA, right? That is what edestine protein is. Some of the core benefits that you get from Himalayan hemp powder, one that I mentioned is it aids digestive health, it improves memory and brain function, it helps in building lean muscle. So if you're looking at getting like like a lot of people consume protein and gain a lot of mass, and kind of get completely buff, that's not going to happen with hemp, right? You are going to develop lean muscle. It helps in boosting your metabolism, it increases your energy levels. So these are some of the core benefits that you can get from hemp protein. And some quick application, like I mentioned: mix it in water, mix it in your lassi, your smoothies, your juices, add it in your atta, your bread. These are some of the ways. In fact, we also know someone who uses this as an ingredient to make pasta, right? Not the final preparation, the main ingredient of the pasta. So these are some of the core benefits. And that actually brings us to an end of our entire hemp seed based portfolio and our entire nutritional range. We are constantly innovating through our R&D team to develop a better end products for the end user, and see how can we develop the next generation of nutritional products. One thing to keep in mind is that India is a land of vegetarians, right? 60% of Indians are vegetarians, and even the balance 40% do not consume meat like how the West or how the, say, the Far East consume meat, right? Meat is like once a week or few times in the week. Meat is a part of our diet, right? But predominantly our diet is vegetarian, and hemp kind of plays a very important role in that entire nutritionally vegetarian rich diet that Indians have. Of course, please check out our entire range on www.bohicolife.com. We're also available in 100 plus retail stores across India, and 40 plus online marketplaces like PharmEasy, 1mg, Amazon, etc. That brings us to the end of the conversation. Thank you once again, Dr. Juneja, for enabling this. Means a lot. Any questions? Happy to take.
Yeah, so there are, first of all, thank you so much, both of you. Very interesting and very uh, tempting session. In fact, I was feeling hungry and I want to try all these. I have already tried a few products, but I have not tried Boheco variant. So maybe I will be looking forward to try. So, in fact, there are certain questions, and I thank all the participants as usual. They are supporting us and they are attending all these sessions. So, quickly, let's take few questions. One is from Dr. Beena Johri. So, she wants to ask that is there any sleepy effect by consuming the hemp powder? So, let me just quickly add one technical aspect, and then maybe Siddhant and Yash can elaborate on this aspect. So, first of all, let me clarify. See, the hemp plant and the cannabis plant or whatever like species are there, in seeds, there are no psychotropic agents. As far as these psychotropic agents are concerned, they are basically in some quantity. I can say very less quantity, as per my knowledge. Maybe Siddhant and Yash can correct if I'm wrong. So in leaves and in the bud and flower, they are the most. So as far as seeds are concerned, they are not having these kind of psychotropic agents. So that sleep thing will not be there whenever you are using hemp seed powder or hemp seed oil or hemp seeds. But maybe still you can add any more information you both have.
Yes,
Right.
definitely, Dr. Janeja. Sorry, Yash, I'd like to take this one.
Yeah, go for
So
it. Go.
So basically, with respect to what you just mentioned, Dr. Janeja, yes, you're completely right. The seed does not produce any cannabinoids, whether it be THC or CBD. It does not produce it. The cannabinoids are only produced within the higher buds of the plant and the upper leaves of the cannabis plant. Now, that being said, when a cannabis or a hemp plant matures, the seed is within the vicinity of the bud, but it does not produce it. There might be a residual amount of THC that might be present, but that again is eliminated because we have a cleaning process when we take it for manufacturing. So these psychotropic agents or cannabinoids in a residual amount or a trace amount are also then removed over the cleaning process. So if there is any amount of cannabinoids that you may find in the product like this, that will only be trace or negligible amounts.
Right. And also, in fact, the hemp powder will only boost your stamina. It's not going to reduce it or make you feel drowsy. In fact, it ups your energy levels. In
Yes.
fact, you won't believe this. We have even tried our powder in animals, right? We have tried giving our hemp powder to cows and chickens. You will not believe it that the energy levels or the testosterone in the cows has actually gone up by 4 times, and because of that the milk production in the cows has increased multifold as well. So it only helps in boosting your energy levels and stamina levels, but does not make you sleepy or any such effects.
Right, right. And the next question is how to use hemp seed oil in cooking by Dr. Ankit Sharma. So, as per my understanding, we are not supposed to use it as a regular cooking oil, like we are heating or we are processing our vegetables or pulses in this. But yes, in the garnishing or maybe sometimes a lukewarm heating is advisable, as per my information. But I am a very limited information as far as the food aspect of hemp is concerned. I'm still learning several aspects, but yes, you people can add on if anything else is there. So the question is how we can use hemp seed oil in cooking.
Right. So, Sid, I'll start off and just add in, right?
Oh,
Dr. Sharma, thank you for your question. Firstly, hemp seed oil has a very low smoke point. By that, what I mean is that you cannot use hemp seed oil for frying. You cannot expose it to heat. In fact, if you expose the hemp seed oil to a certain temperature, it will lose all its nutritional profile, right? And because this is an extra virgin, cold pressed hemp seed oil, any cold press oils, you cannot expose them to heat, right? Because of the manufacture. Unless you put it through a refinery process, unless you put it through a lot of process, then only you can expose it to heat. And also, given the high amount of chlorophyll and antioxidant profile of hemp seed oil, this is another reason why you should not expose it to heat at all. The best way to use hemp seed oil is you can use it as a garnishing oil. You add it on top of your cooked meal. So if you're like, for example, on top of your khichdi, how people usually add ghee on top of it, just add hemp seed oil just like that, right? That is one of the best ways to use it. Of course, we have seen a lot of people who use it for light baking or toasting, but that is they are mainly doing it for the taste aspect and not the nutritional aspect. So if you're consuming it from a purely nutritional element, I would say do not expose it to any sort of heat. Sid, if you'd like to add.
yes, definitely. So what Yash was mentioning with respect to that, if you heat the product, the nutritional properties will be lost. That is because again, it has a low smoke point, and when you heat it above a certain temperature, there is hydrogenation, which I believe occurs in the oil product. Now, because it has a high amount of unsaturated fatty acids, which are adding a lot of benefits to your body, we would not advise you to heat the product because it's going to create unwanted hydrogen atoms within the product itself. So that is something that we do not advise for you to heat the product at all. So directly consumption, like Yash mentioned, it's a cold pressed product. There's a reason it's been made cold pressed as well. So it's a virgin product and not a refined oil, which is completely different, which can be used under cooking. This is a virgin product. Virgin products are usually taken directly, like you have your virgin olive oil as well, right? Very similar to that.
So just to add on to this, it's my personal query. Many people are these days are very conscious about having as less as possible oils are concerned in their diets. So as far
Right.
as hemp seed oil is concerned, how much fat or maybe the saturated fat or and what will be the adequate on the same note, what will be the adequate quantity on a daily basis we can recommend? So in terms of weight gain, in terms of lipids, in terms of the saturated fats are concerned, how we rank hemp seed oil among the other oils which are there, as you have said about which I liked the most, that you positioned that there are only two oils having golden ratio of omega, and one is for non-vegetarians, that is fish, and another is for the vegetarians, that is hemp seed oil. Absolutely bang on. So now if we talk on the fat, the thing is, see what happens is these days we have seen this, especially the younger generation. In fact, I was reading this, that we need to position Ayurveda and herbs to the millennium, to the Generation X people. And now all these diet conscious people are very much conscious about their oils, about their fat intake. But on the same note, in Ayurveda, as far as in general dietitians, many are recommending that you have an adequate quantity of oil. You have an adequate quantity of, like, for example, they are recommending, leading dietitians have recommended cow ghee or desi ghee that you have to add in your diet, and it helps you in giving it. So it's not advisable to cut all the fats and to do not take any oil or ghee in your diet. So on that note, how you position hemp seed oil in terms of the fat contents, lipid contents, and how it ranks as compared to other oils? Is it the most safest or what? So we need more clarity on that aspect.
Right. So, to just give you a basic understanding, Dr. Juneja, hemp seed oil, when you look at the nutritional aspects or the COA of the product, it has approximately just above 70% of unsaturated fatty acids. Now, these unsaturated fatty acids, and what is the difference between unsaturated and saturated fatty acids? Your saturated fatty acids are basically solid at room temperature. So, you have your butter, which is solid at room temperature, right? Whereas you have your vegetable oils, which are mainly your unsaturated fatty acids, which are liquid at room temperature. And that's the main difference between saturated and unsaturated. Now, to give you an idea of what it does, unsaturated fatty acids are actually good for health, the ones which are liquid at room temperature, whereas saturated fatty acids are the ones which are linked to, high triglyceride levels, your cholesterol related issues, and all of that. Now, again, from that perspective, the recommended amount that we have printed on our bottle is close to about 1 to 2 tablespoons of the product on a daily basis. And this is because of the fact that we understand when you do consume the product. Now, like you also mentioned, on an everyday daily basis, people are cutting out fats from their diet because they want to look thinner, etc. But just mind you, by consuming vegetable oil, which we do anyways consume in Indian food, that does not directly lead to a lot of weight gain. That is a misconception. What your weight gain actually comes from is mainly eating a lot of carbohydrates, right? So that is mainly where people, unfortunately, there is a lot of misinformation or noise or whatever you want to call it within the internet that's available. But vegetable oils are actually good for your health because when they go into your body, they're actually helping lubricating your joints, etc. From that perspective, that is the most important use of something like a cow ghee as well, because it internally there is dryness which Ayurveda recognizes. Your modern medicine does not recognize that. Ayurveda recognizes that where you have internal dryness, and if that exceeds a certain level, you will start having issues with your joints. The lubrication that you have between your joints will also basically go down on a certain level. So vegetable oil consumption is actually, I would say, recommended from a certain perspective. So we usually recommend it to be between 1 to 2 tablespoons, which will give you, close to about, say, 28 or 25 ml of the product, close, so to speak.
Right, and also just to add one small point to Siddhant's thing, right? What vegetable oils usually consist of, like the omegas, right? They are called essential fatty acids, right? Why are they called essential? It's essential because your body needs it. Your body does not inherently produce these fatty acids. You have to rely on external sources for these fatty acids, right? And these are absolutely essential for your daily, your heart and your cognitive kind of movements and functioning. And so that is why it is highly recommended that you rely on vegetable external oils for unsaturated fatty acids, like Siddhant mentioned, which are absolutely essential for your body to function.
Right, absolutely. And I think we got this answer. There are some more queries. Let's quickly take on. So another query is from Priya Gupta. She wants to ask, can we add to smoothies? And if yes, quantity. I think she must be asking about
The powder.
hemp seed powder.
So you can add two main products to your smoothies. One is the hemp powder, which can be used just like how you use any other powder, right? You just add it. Quantity is 25 to 30 grams, which is one serving. Not one teaspoon, one whole tablespoon, right? One tablespoon is roughly 25 grams. That 25 grams of protein will give you roughly 11 to 12 grams of protein, that serving, which is more than what you will get from one egg, which is typically 9 grams, right? So you consume the hemp powder, you add it to your smoothies, mix it with other fruits or other seeds or whatever you have it, grind it and blend it together, and have the whole thing as is. And also what you can actually do on top of that is you can garnish it with some hemp hearts. So after your smoothie is made, just add some hemp hearts on top, and you can have it. If you want to understand more recipes, on our website we have a section called recipes, where we have listed down more than 50 recipes, of different applications, including smoothies. So you can have a good look there, but that is how typically one uses it as a smoothie ingredient.
Nice, great. And another question from Dr. Shiv Arora. So, difference between hemp seed and hemp seed powder. I think a very valid question. So, let's clarify to all our listeners. So, is the same like you are just grinding the hemp seeds and creating into a powder, or is there any difference? Like we need to understand that.
Right.
Yes.
Go on, Sid.
Okay, so basically the situation is, Dr. Janeja, the difference between hemp seed and the hemp seed powder is that when we create the hemp seed powder, we are basically using a cold press to remove all the fatty acids, which is basically the fat or the oil content from the seeds, and that gives us the hemp seed powder. So it's a very simple 1 or 2 step process, but it is required to then give that oil obviously creation, and then protein flour creation on the side as well. So that is how we basically do it. So hemp seeds are utilized as a raw material to create hemp seed powder, but the defatting happens of that. So it is
Yeah.
defatted hemp seed meal technically.
Correct. So it's the whole hemp seeds. You crush it, you grind it, you remove the oil. What is left is the seed cake. You further grind it, filter it, and what you're left with is the hemp seed powder, which is mainly the fiber and the protein. The omegas and the minerals get passed on to the hemp seed oil, and the fiber and the protein remains here. There is further process to kind of isolate or concentrate the protein amount in the powder, but that is not something that in India is allowed, because hemp is not recognized as a food under FSSI. It's only recognized as an Ayurvedic ingredient. But broadly, whole hemp seed oil one side, hemp seed powder the other side, and that is what is left. Yes.
Right, great. Thanks for this explanation. I think let's take one more query and we can conclude the session. So, on one side, we have understood the internal like intake of all these products, and you have mentioned it's a multi-purpose oil. So, we have another question, that ways to effectively apply on skin. So, the local application, as we know, in fact, I remember 2 3 days back, I had one patient, and he was saying that he had psoriasis and he just applied hemp seed oil, and he's like fine now. So I think hemp seed oil is very effective in various skin diseases and skin issues, and we can apply. On the same note, in general, it's not about diseases in general also, but you people have the experiences in terms of local application of hemp seed oil is concerned. Any experience,
Right.
any feedback you can share?
Right. So, in fact, there are many ways in which hemp seed oil can be used externally, topical use wise, right? And so, for example, I mean, typically what people do is they apply it directly, right? Just hemp seed oil removed from the bottle, and just like your other oils, you just apply it on your skin or your hair, right? The other way to go about it is you actually add it as an ingredient, right? In the sense of, for example, a lot of people have their Sunday routines where some people make like an uptan, for example, or some people have these different weekend their skin routines, right? Sorry. So one can add hemp seed oil in their weekend routines also. In fact, in my family, people use it in their Sunday uptan. My mother and my wife, they add it to their daily skin routine by adding this as an ingredient. What we in fact also do at Boico is we supply the hemp seed oil as an ingredient to other personal care companies who make other end products, be it for humans or for pets. Right. One example I'll show you here is, if you can see on my screen, I don't know if it's quite clear, but this is of a dog that has actually had a severe skin condition. Right, the above image, if you can see, the dog has a massive rash here, and just 1 week after using hemp seed oil, that rash has completely disappeared. I'm not sure if you all can see it properly, but because of the high vitamin E profile of the hemp seed oil, it is a great kind of source in soothing skin rashes and also repairing your skin's DNA, right? So either apply it directly, but keep in mind that hemp seed oil is not an essential oil, it is a carrier oil, right? What it And also the hemp seed oil has a very high comedogenic score, right? So typically when you apply any hemp oil on your skin, no, it blocks your pores. Like for example, coconut oil, if you apply it on your skin, it will actually block your pores, and because of that you will have skin breakout, right? By acne or any such things. But in hemp seed oil, it's got a very low. There are only two oils that have got a zero score of its comedogenic score is zero. One is almond oil and the other is hemp seed oil, which means that when you apply it on your skin, it opens up your pores and your skin completely sucks it in, right? Thereby the absorption is very good, and therefore it is a very good carrier oil, right? So you apply it straight up, or you mix it with your daily routine. These are some of the effective ways to use it on skin.
Great, great. I think this is a very important point, and we all should recommend, and we all should uh, maybe advocate all these applications, because see, I think end of the day, we all need to understand that how we can improve the quality of life. And after this pandemic, and after this lockdown, this COVID and all these issues, one thing which all of us are have understood, that we need to focus on our health, we need to focus on our immunity, we need to focus on our overall health. And its health is not just immunity, by the way, it's like so many aspects are there. So it's always essential to have the exact nutritional value in our food. And with the current situations, the current sourcing, and so many aspects are there. I think if you people have noticed one very important point which Yash and Siddhant mentioned initially, that cultivation of hemp and cultivation of this particular plant does not require any significant amount of pesticides or insecticides or that kind of stuff, because it's a self-sustaining plant. Itself this plant grows, and it the properties which are there in this plant are allowing, or maybe enabling this particular crop to grow without any chemical infusion of pesticides and hormones, or any like insecticides or that kind of stuff. So that is the main thing I think we need to understand, because whatever we are eating these days, the fruits, the vegetables, the dairy, whatever we are using, whatever we are all of them, maximum I would say, are infused and are being processed in a food chain, where yes, you may can have a fancy brand, but the raw material sourcing is always there with some amount of pesticides or hormonal infusions and all these kind of stuff. On the same note, the hemp, the plant and the entire thing is relatively negligible in terms of all these artificial hormones or chemicals are concerned. So the quality is definitely there, and on the same side, the composition, the ingredient, the ratios of proteins, vitamins, minerals are one of the best if you compare to any other plant or any other source. So I think on that note, we all need to understand that yes, if we are taking, and it's a very small quantity, it's a very limited quantity which we need to take on a daily basis. So, and accordingly, I think it's a value for money, and definitely it has to be in every household, and all of us related to healthcare should promote it as maximum as possible. And thanks to Goeco for ensuring that all these are available to all of us, and we would like to have more and more sessions around hemp food. We would like to request all of you to maybe contribute. If you have any idea, you can post, you can let us know. All of you are listening to us, and I request Yash and Siddhant to bring some more maybe people and who are associated with you, some chefs or some people who are in food or any dietitians. Let's talk more on this. This was the first session. The idea was just to create a buzz around hemp food on our platform. But we are getting very good response. I'm getting few messages also, so it's an excellent opening for us. So let's take it forward. At least in a month, maybe once or twice, we should create some more events around hemp food. We should bring people who are experimenting. We can have some live demonstrations, because still people are maybe not that much aware that where we can use all these ingredients. And let's have some more interesting sessions to talk on, and we can have one product at a time. We can show how it can be used in cooking, in the recipes, and accordingly we can take it forward. So thank you so much again to both of you for giving us your time, and thank you all the audience. Have a healthy week ahead, and I request all of you at least try once. I have tried hemp seed and hemp seed oil. Um I will definitely try from Boheco as well after this session, after listening to both of you. But absolutely, it's an excellent product, and it will definitely add value to your life and to your near and dear ones. And I think Valentine Day is coming this Sunday, so it can be a good Valentine gift as well. So if people have some kind of a hamper as well, Valentine hamper, because this season the gifting should be focused on the health. So, what else you need to be a healthy partner in your life? So you should have some Valentine gift hampers also of hemp seed and hemp seed oil, and I
Yeah,
think
hemp hearts will sell the most on Valentine's.
hemp parts, right. Great, great. Thank you,
All
Siddhant.
right.
Thank you,
Okay. Thank you, Dr.
and
Junaid.
thank you
Thank you.
all of you for joining us today. Thanks.
Thank you. My pleasure.